Other day I was here, but appear ever a place that he turned. How don't was function. Now I saw this. Let me see. Now, yes. Okay. I will read to you and talk about chapter 6 from Genesis and the universal creation. Is still from chapter 6, and general uranography is one item after the last item I read to you. The universal creation is the item second, not second, item 17. The universal creation, but the chapter continues chapter 6. After having gone back, human limitations notwithstanding to the hiding found, from which worlds derive like drops of water flowing from a river, let us consider the progression of the successive creations and their serial developments. The primitive cosmic matter contained the material fluid and vital elements for all the universe, then unroll their magnificence before eternity. It's the fertile mother. Oh, don't is not universal creation. Is not this. Sorry, I jumped one. The first creation is today. After we have considered the universe from the general points of view concerning its composition, laws, and properties, is limited, but Galileo Galilei comment various things about properties and laws. And the conclusion is one uh, material force, is one material creation, and this matter of all universe have changes, have modifications and adaptations, and have laws and properties. But it exists a primitive matter. We can extend our study to the mode of formation that has given birth to the world and beings. They will try to explain to us, but I can say to you, we have limit in our mind to understand exactly what they want to show us. Let us go back at this time to the creation of the earth before. In particular, and its current state in the universality of things. And from there, taking it as a starting point and relative unit, we will proceed to our planetary and sidereal studies. If we have rightly understood the relationship, or rather the opposition between eternity and time, If we have familiarized ourselves with the idea that time is only a relative measure, because if planet start to his rotation, translation, in our translation, if start the planet in one side will be only eternal night, another side only eternal day. Is this? Then this is the time is relative to translation and rotation around the sun. Rotation and translation. I forgot. But these two movements is what permit us to count the time here in this planet only. If we have rightly understood the relationship and a relative measure of the succession of transitory things, whereas eternity is essentially one, immovable, permanent, and insusceptible to any measurement. From the point of view of duration, we will realize that for eternity there is neither beginning nor end. On the other hand, if we get an exact idea, although necessarily very weak, of the infinitude of divine power, we will understand how it's possible that the universe always has been and always will be. Ever since God has existed, his eternal perfections have also existed and have been articulated. Before time, before time was born, incommensurable eternity received the divine word and impregnated space, eternal as the divine word itself. God, by this nature, having existed from all eternity, has created from all eternity, and it could not have been any other way. If such were not the case, no matter how far back in time we go through our imagination, to the supposed limits of creation, there would always remain beyond those limits an eternity. Ponder this thus well. An eternity during which the divine hypostasis, the infinite volitions, would have been entombed in inactive and infertile mud lethargy, an eternity of seeming death from the eternal Father who gives life to beings, of an indifferent muteness for the world that governs them, and of a cold and selfish sterility for the spirit of love and vivification. Let us grasp more fully the grandeur of divine action and its perpetuity at the hand of the absolute being. God is the Son of his creatures. He is the light of the world. Now the appearing of the sun instantly gives birth to the waves of light that spread everywhere throughout the expanse of space. And in the same way, the universe born from the eternal dates back to unimaginable periods of infinite duration to the fiat lux to the fiat lux of the beginning. The absolute beginning of things thus goes back to God. Their successive appearances in the realm of existence comprise the order of ongoing creation. What mortal could tell of the unknown and superbly veiled glories under the night of the ages, glories that developed during those ancient times when none of the marvels of the current universe existed? In that primitive epoch, when the voice of the Lord, having made itself heard, the materials that in the future would be arranged symmetrically and by themselves to form the temple of nature suddenly encountered one another in the bosom of the infinite void. In the moment when, at the sound of that mysterious voice, which each creator worships and cherishes, cherishes as that of a mother's harmoniously varied notes were produced to vibrate together and modulate the concert of the vast heavens. The world in its cradle was not yet established in its virility and fullness of life. They are taking us before creation of this planet. No, the creative power never contradicts itself, and like all things, the universe was born as an infant. Don't forget that have multiplies universes. Endowed with the above referenced laws and the initial impulse inherent to its formulation, the primitive cosmic matter gives birth successively to vortices, agglomerations of that diffuse fluid, and accumulations of nebulous matter that were divided and modified at infinitum to generate diverse centers of simultaneous or successive creations in the incommensurable regions of the expanse. Due to the forces that predominated over one or the other, and due to the ulterior circumstances that presided over their development, these primitive centers became the focal points of a special life, some points less disseminated in space and richer in principles and active energies, began their individual stellar life, and that time others occupying the unlimited expanse grew with extreme slowness, or divided anew into other secondary centers. Transporting ourselves back only a few million centuries before the current epoch, our Earth didn't yet exist, nor had our solar system yet begun the evolution of planetary life. Nevertheless, splendid suns already illuminated the ether. Inhabited planets already gave life and existence to a multitude of beings that preceded us in the human course. Under the gaze of other eyes, opulent productions of an unknown nature and marvelous phenomena of the heavens comprised the scenes of an immense creation. What am I saying? Already splendors that use it to make the hearts of other mortals beat under already splendor that use it to make the hearts of other mortals bear under the docks of the infinite power were no more. And we poor tiny beings who have come after an eternity of life believe ourselves to be contemporaneous with creation. Once more, let us comprehend nature more fully. Let us realize that eternity lies before us well as after us. That space is the theater of an unimaginable sequence and simultaneity of creations. Those nebulae, those nebulae which we can barely make out in the farthest reaches of space, are clusters of suns in the process of formation. Those others and galaxies of inhabited worlds, and still others, are the sites of catastrophes or decline. Let us be aware that just as we are placed in the midst of an infinity minds of an infinity of worlds, we are also in the midst of a twofold infinity of previous and subsequent duration. That universal creation is not restricted to us, and that we cannot apply that word restricted to the isolated formation of our tiny globe. We are never the unique in universe, unique with this body, unique with this matter. No, we are never this way. The creation is eternal. And this name, eternity, we don't can realize with our finite mind. The infinity and eternity are incommensurable. Is this? And how Galileo Galilei show us, if you come for millennia, centuries of millennia, and velocity of the light, if you are out of this vehicle, you will perceive that you continue in the same point, because we don't can mention infinity, how much we will going to infinity, more infinity will appear. Is this? Is not comprehensible, but is visible. This is not comprehensible because we are a limited mind. One day, with our evolution, infinite evolution, we will understand so good this. Now is only to us perceive how limited we are in this still planet in times of not so good evolution. This planet is primitive still, and we must only accept this, our limitation, and how crustacea that have for a moment in the deep ocean have a blast to to go to superficie of ocean and see an immeasurable island full of life and full of fluids and full of possibilities, but without understand how it's possible. Is us in compare to universe, how said Galileo. Then I hope you have a great final week, and today is the day of meet doctors in astral, in the spiritual region that came to us to hear, to hear our problems, our preoccupations, and you can claim God, because God in all this, we are inside the God, and you can talk with God the time you want. But if you make this and unifying, if you have difficulties, and you make this and unifying with other minds, it's more easy to you get an answer. Because in all my procedures from um, resolution to help others with his problems, the first step is retire the problem of your mind. Contrary this, you don't will see, because the problem is here, is here, is here, is here, is here. We must be first retire the preoccupation and substitute this to faith. Faith in minds that are so much higher than us and can see better than us. Contrary this, people, when forget angels, forget God, forget his fate, are linked with the spirits so down, all in the same plane that don't can see nothing. And cause this, these people believe that don't exist nothing more high in his mind. Then we must stop to let prayer how a bad thing. Prayer never will be this way. The prayer is a movement of our spirit to connect to high minds that must guide us in this planet. Okay? And we must substitute our less faith in faith and link it with high good persons. For this, Jesus Christ said, you must love yourself first. Love God upon all things and love your neighbor how you love yourself. Without love yourself, we don't can go not God, not your next. Have a good day and a good final week. Thank you, your presence here.